This moose belongs to me. This Moose Belongs to Me by Oliver Jeffers. Wilford owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he knew, just knew, that it was meant to be his. He thought he would call him Marcel. He began following Marcel, explaining the rules of how to be a good pet. Much of the time, it seemed as though the moose wasn't listening, but Wilford knew he was, mostly because he followed Rule 4 very well, not making too much noise while Wilford played his record collection. Sometimes the moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored Rule 7, going whichever way Wilford wants to go. The moose had a very good sense of direction, and Wilford did not. And because the moose was particularly poor in Rule 7, subsection B, maintaining a certain proximity to home, Wilford quickly learned to bring some string along on their outings so he could find his way back. Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble with Rule 11, providing shelter from the rain. On Rule 16, knocking down things that are out of Wilford's reach, good work. One day, as Wilford discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he made a terrible discovery. Someone else thought they owned the moose. "Rodrigo, you're back!" Wilford was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Rodrigo. The old lady was mistaken, and Wilford thought it only proper that he correct her. "This moose belongs to me," he explained. And to prove it, he called Marcel. "Heel." But the moose did not respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady. Good Rodrigo. Embarrassed and enraged, Wilford rushed off for home. Fine. But in his haste and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and got tangled up. And there he laid. Wilford was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was past his home time now, and the monsters would be out soon. He had just ruled out the last of his options when along came the moose. And performed Rule 73 brilliantly, rescuing your owner from perilous situation. All was forgiven, and perhaps Wilford admitted he had never really owned the moose anyway. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilford's rules. Whenever it suited him. Dominic, you're back, and you brought me an apple. This moose belongs to me.